Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be teaching you guys how to go from 0 to 100k on the web app with zero trading. So, just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch. For the cheapest premium trading service for just £4, €4, or free with Amazon Prime. You'll get yourself daily trading and investing guides covering both Xbox and PlayStation with an array of different techniques depending on your budget. I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million on multiple titles, and recently making over 10 million in the first month for the last 3 years. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is walking you guys through a few different things, because you can actually go from about 0 to 100k on the web app without doing any trading whatsoever. Nothing more than really just completing SBCs and then making a very, very simple investment that doesn't really take any market knowledge whatsoever. So let's walk you guys through step by step. So we're going to start off with you guys logging on the web app. Now, when you log on to the web app, you're probably going to get some, or you will go and get yourself some loyalty packs. These are basically packs you get from playing the game in previous years, and you're guaranteed to get, around about 2 or 3. On top of this, you'll get yourself a daily login reward. Now, this will garner about 2 to 5k. Now, obviously, 2 to 5k is pretty far off 100k. So how are we going to make those coins work for us? Now, as much as we are a trading channel, the best thing to do isn't actually to trade. And the reason for this is trading is never going to guarantee you coins in a small amount of time. But what is going to guarantee you coins in a small amount of time is SBCs. So, obviously when you start off, you've done absolutely 0 of the SBCs. So what you need to do is you need to go and do some. Now, we are going off the presumption that you're starting off with 2 to 3k, which means that you're not going to go and jump into the hybrid nations and going to go and complete the 25k one. It means that you need to find the peasant SBC. And a lot of people wouldn't believe it, but this blue one right here under League of Nation Basics is actually tradable. Even though these two are untradeable and they are blue ones, this one is always tradable. Now obviously we are going off the presumption that the FIFA 22 SBCs are going to be the same as the FIFA 23. And actually EA can very easily have the exact same SBC, but just obviously, change it up from 100 chemistry down to 10 chemistry, or so on and so on. So the first SBC we're going to do right here is the 1 league attack. And the best thing about the 1 league attack is you generally couldn't lose coins on this if you tried. Now, this gives you a premium silver players pack, which gets you at least on discard 2k. But it can make you about 4 or 5k, depending if you can go and get yourself, like some Premier League silvers or maybe some English silvers or Brazilian silvers. So let's go and jump underway with this SBC right here. Now, obviously, with the new chemistry requirements, I think it's going to look like, or what it currently looks like, is 1 league, 5 nationalities, 45 chemistry, and 5 players in the squad. But what it will be next year, giving off that they've gone for the exact same thing, is it'll be 1 league, 5 nationalities, 10 chemistry points. Now the reason for this is the FIFA 23 chemistry system works by, if you have 5 players from the same league, everyone gets 2 chemistry points each. Well, if they want exactly 1 league and 5 nations, obviously that's 5 players from the same league, just different nations, which means that everyone is going to get 2 chemistry points, which means that they can very easily equate last year's SBC to this year's. So without enough waffling, how are we going to go and do this SBC for so cheap? Now you'll see right there, it has no requirements on rating whatsoever, which means that we can go and use a bunch of bronzes. So, we need to go and find a league that's got loads of different bronzes in it, but it's not too mainstream. Because a lot of people will go and look at this and they'll go and pick the championship. They'll go and pick the second English league, the third English league, the fourth English league. And although, yes, they do have loads of players in those leagues, they're normally quite expensive because everyone's thinking the exact same thing. So what you need to do is think outside the box. So the leagues that you are going to be looking at are basically going to be European minor leagues. So these are going to be the Norwegian league, the Swedish league, and you can also have a look at like the Turkish league and the Portuguese league. Now the reason these are really good is because there's a lot of international immigration in these leagues, but if you go to the J League and the Asian leagues, there isn't as much international immigration, and as a result, you're going to struggle to get your 5 different nations. But in the Swedish league, there are players from all over the shop. Now I can show you this right here. So the formation needs a left mid, a right mid, a cam, and 2 strikers. So if we go look at the strikers, because obviously if there's loads of players, you've got a high supply of, high pool of players, and they'll be cheap. So the strikers, we've got ourselves Ghanaian players, we've got ourselves Jamaican players, we've got ourselves South American players, and you've got to remember that, South African, sorry, that you need 5 different nations. So you're not going to struggle when it comes to striker. We then go to the likes of cam, and you're not going to struggle when you get to cam. Well, actually, you might struggle a little bit more, but you've got to remember, you can use 1 Swedish player, it's just the rest can't be Swedish. So the cam, maybe you're going to go and use Swedish. Left mid, perfect. Norway, America, South America, Moldova or something like that. And then we're also going to go over to right mids, and I'll show you that, again, we're not going to struggle for getting players from different nations. In fact, right mids, I'm pretty sure there's more right mids from other nations than there is from Sweden themselves. So, first SBC has been completed. You've got all the players for 200 coins each. Boom. The SBCs cost you 1k. Now, some people might debate, oh, but I could win them on 150 coin bids. Now, what you got to remember is when you're logging on the web app, everyone is logging on the web app, and everyone is doing SBCs. So, if I straight up buy the players, I could probably buy them in about 5 minutes, which is really good because that means I've gone from about 3k to 5k in a few minutes. But if I'm like, well, I might be able to win them on 150 coin bids, the problem with that is that the bids is probably going to take about half an hour. And in about half an hour's time, even though you might have saved 250 coins winning them on bids, all the other SBCs have become more expensive. So that it's not even efficient anymore for you to go and pick up the SBC players for 150 coins because you lose out on the long run. So we've gone and bought everyone on the market, and it's cost us 1k. We've gone and opened the pack. Sadly, we didn't really get anything good. We've, got about maybe 2.5k back in profit. So we've got 3.5k impact in English player. Perfect. That's the first one done. We've, again, already gone from about 2.23k to about 6k. Believe it or not, we're now going to move to the next SBC. Now, this is a little bit more of an awkward one, but it's, still not too bad. So for this one, you need to go and pick one nation, and you need 5 different leagues, and 3 of them being silver. Now, a lot of people for this will go and pick England, because obviously there's 5 English leagues, but English players become so expensive, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's a little bit like the first SBC. Rather than picking a minor league, you want to pick a minor European nation. And show you guys an example. So they're not so much a minor European nation, but what they are is they're not a nation that has loads of leagues. Again, the Spanish league has the La Liga 1 and La Liga 2. The French league has 2 leagues, and all these top 5 European nations will have top 2 leagues, which means a lot of people use them. But these are actually really good to go for, these, I say, smaller European nations. Because if we go and look, we need, again, 5 different leagues. If we look at this, we've got the Liga Nos, we've got the Liga right there, we've got the Scottish League, we've got the Turkish League, we've got the Serie B, we've got the, what is this right here? We've got the Romania League. So there's thriving amount of leagues when it comes to there. We can go look at the next position, left mid. How's left mid looking for leagues? Well, when we look at left mids, there's not as much, I'll be honest with you. You've got La Liga, Liga 1, Turkish Super League, Polish League, no one we're talking about, and the Portuguese League. So you've got loads right there, and again, we'll go look at cams. And again, you've only got to use 3 silvers, and one of them can very easily be a Liga Nos, and you've got Turkish League right here, Eredivisie, Championship, and so on. And again, not many people go and use the likes of Portugal, because they'll think, well, Portugal's only got 1 league on FIFA, and as a result, there'll be nothing cheap. So the second thing you're going to go and do is going to go and complete this SBC. And stepping back from that SBC is generally going to cost you probably about 2k. It's not as cheap as the other SBC. It's going to get you a 7.5k pack. On average, you're probably going to get about 3k, 4k back from that. So it hasn't really increased your budget too much, because you've probably now gone for about 6, 7k, and you've gone and done this SBC, and maybe you're on about 8, 9k. But obviously 8, 9k is really good to complete the rest of the SBCs. So we're going to go and do the last SBC, which is the multi-league and nation. Now, what this SBC needs is it needs 3 lots of friends, basically. What I mean by this is these guys are Mexican friends, Argentina friends, and Bundesliga 2 or 3 friends. And what this basically means is you need someone in the same league and nation, but not the same club. So, obviously, these guys are both Mexican in the Mexican league. 2 gold cards generally would be about 400 coins each, 800 coins there. These 2 South America cards, you get them for 200 coins. It's not hard to find Argentinian players with South America cards. Which again means only another 400 coins. And these 2 again, you could generally get any miscellaneous 83 rated bronzes, and again that's going to be another 400 coins. So that's going to be 800 plus that. That's going to be 1.6k for another 7.5k pack, and it's going to go and give you a mixed players pack. So we've probably we're at about 9k here. We're going to go and do that SBC. That's probably going to put us on 10k. We're going to get the mixed players pack. That's probably going to go and put us on 12k. Now, what 12k opens up is it opens up doing every single advanced SBC now. The hybrid leagues, the hybrid nations, and even some of the hybrid league and nations you can do with chemistry, which you wouldn't have been able to do if you were to go in with your 2-3k. And that is why these SBCs are very important. So, we're now going to go off the presumption, because I won't help you guys with every SBC, because, again, you can always use Footbin or just always use a bit of innovation yourself. So I would then recommend go and do the hybrid leagues, then go and do the hybrid nations, and then you can normally do the first 2 league and nation hybrids. So right now we are probably sitting on the best part. After doing all them SBCs, from experience, you're probably sitting on about 50, 60k. Well, that's not quite 100k. So how are we going to go to 100k without trading? Well, let me explain. So as a trader, this is finally when a little bit of my knowledge is going to be passed on to you guys rather than just telling you guys to do some SBCs for cheap. Now, you've got about 50, 60k, and you've got 2 options. So you've got the likes of buying players who are used for advanced SBCs. You know, Neres isn't really a demanded card. He's just good for SBCs because he's a player from a major nation, but not in a major league. You know, the likes of the Eredivisie, there's not that many Brazilians there. And as a result, they're quite expensive because when you need SBCs with loads of leagues, obviously it comes in clutch. And then you've got the likes of De Jong. Now, De Jong, obviously, you know, the web app can be quite underpriced. And then when the game comes out, he can rise. So we've got 50, 60k, and we could literally buy either of these 2 players. We've got De Jong, who started off at 50k on the web app. And we've got Neres, who I don't know if it's going to show that well. Yeah, it says 4.8k, but you probably would have been able to get him a little bit cheaper. And in all fairness, you might have been able to get De Jong a little bit cheaper. So now we need to make the decision of, do I buy Neres or do I buy De Jong? And now what you guys have to think is the web app is going to be out for 6 days, okay? 6 days of the web app before anyone can play the game. So on the web app, you got to think, what are people buying? Because if you can work out what people are buying, you buy it before they buy it, and it goes up in price. Now, I would heavily hedge my bets that there are going to be way more people doing advanced SBCs on the web app than there are going to be buying their weekend league team. Which means that I would say the likes of Neres. Because another way of looking at it is, I could go and buy 25 Nereses, right, for 2k each. Or I could go and buy a De Jong for 50k. Now, the easiest way to think about which is going to be the best one is which is probably easier to double, or which will double first. Now again, there's going to be a lot more people doing advanced SBCs, so your Nereses are way more likely to go from 2k to 4k than your De Jong is likely to go from 50k to 100k. And in fact, what you can even do is, if you have a dying urge, you can go and buy your Nereses for 2k, sell them for 4k or 5, 6, 7. In fact, they went all the way up to 8k. Right, well, they probably would have gone up to 8k for the height of the daily average. And then you can go and buy a De Jong, because these cards rise normally faster than the weekly demanded cards. So the players you are going to be looking for are players used for advanced SBCs, and the players that we're going to be going for are going to be Brazilians, because Brazilians are always used for the advanced SBCs because there's just so many of them in different leagues, and as a result they're a lot of people's go-tos. So the positions we're going to be looking for are going to be left back, left mid, left wing and right wing. And that's because these are the scarcest positions. These have the least amount of options, and obviously if there's less options, there's more people buying the same players, and therefore they're going to rise faster. And that's all she wrote. So today's episode obviously has been no trading whatsoever. In tomorrow's episode, I will be talking about if you wish to prolong the whole trading. Again, we've got 6 days on the web app, so if you're interested in trading, there is plenty of time to learn and plenty of time to make money. But this is more for the episode that trading's a bit scary, so just give me some simple stuff and make me money. That's the whole premises of today's video. But thank you very much for watching. So we should be back with daily YouTube videos. We'll be doing a 40-hour stream on the release of the web app if anyone is interested in watching trading live or me teaching you guys how to trade live. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.